What's going on, family? What's going on? I know this is a late one. Tomorrow's probably gonna be a late one too. It might be an early one tomorrow, depending on how I feel when I wake up. But yeah, I'll probably bust out tomorrow pretty quickly. And I got OG Patrice stream tomorrow. Shout out to OG Patrice. Straight talk no chase with OG Patrice. That's coming up tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right, and the rest of the standard times, y'all just got to figure it out. No, I think it's 4 p.m. Mountain or Central or something like that, and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we got that. We got the Black Files tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. All right. So I got a few things bubbling up tomorrow, y'all. All right. So please be ready. I'm doing 3 streams. Well, I'm moderating 1 stream, and I'm actually doing 3 streams total. So one is a moderating, and then I'm doing the rest as I'm talking. So definitely gonna get some rest tonight. I'm gonna bust this out real quick. I still got things I'm doing in my house. Um, you know how it is, man. You know how it is. And next week gonna be even more busy. But with that being said, y'all, this is Black and Gold. Black is Gold, episode 11, LeBron James. You know what I mean? You know how I feel about LeBron. I'm a huge LeBron fan. All right. Shout out to all LeBron fans out there, man. Salute to them. Salute. You know what I mean? We here. We in the building. You know what I'm saying? So, now, like I said, I ain't going to be here a long time. I'm going to be here, quick. Y'all already know what it is. I'm going to get into the highlights of this man's life. So, I'm going to get into, the early life, right? And I'm going to get into his professional career. That's it. All right. I'm trying to be out of here by 11:30. No matter of fact, I am out of here at 11:30. Okay. I love you guys, but 11:30, I'm gone. Okay. Please understand that. All right. Please believe it. Okay. Now, I don't know who's watching. Whoever's watching, I appreciate you. I can see you. Salute to Rush. You checked in earlier. Salute, bro. Appreciate you. All right. Let's get into it. So, LeBron Ramon James Sr. is an American professional basketball player for the Los Angeles Lakers and the National Basketball Association, nicknamed King James. He is considered, I consider him to be, not just be, but is the greatest basketball player in history, and is often compared to another GOAT, Michael Jordan, in debates over the greatest basketball player of all time. It's really no debate to me, but people like to debate. I think it's between him, Kareem, and Jordan. I don't think you could go wrong with any of the 3, right? I think if you pick any of those 3, you're gonna be equally fine. There's no wrong answer to that. Okay, I think that's what people have a hard time really figuring out. It's like, if you got to pick one, which one you pick? You can't go wrong whichever one you pick. Whichever one you pick, you're gonna be in the running for a championship. If you pick LeBron, you pick Kareem, you pick Jordan, you can't go wrong. Okay, you won't go wrong. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Now, James is the all-time leading scorer in NBA history and ranks 4th in career assists. He has won 4 championships with the Cleveland Cavaliers, Miami Heat, and Los Angeles Lakers. Has competed in 10 NBA Finals. Wow, that's crazy. He has 4 MVP awards, 4 Finals MVP awards, and 2 Olympic gold medals. He has been named an All-Star 19 times, selected to the All-NBA team 18 times, including 13 first-team selections, and to the All-Defensive team 6 times. Salute M3. I see you in the building, dog. What up? Know what I mean? What's going on? Let me share this video with one more person, because I know certain people like to watch my videos, and I try to make sure that they, I keep them in tune. You know what I mean? With what's going on with the movement. Salute to the family as well, y'all. Everybody in the building. So, that being said, let me continue. Right? Now, let me go. Did I miss something? Did I miss anything? Oh, okay. I was right at the pace where I was supposed to be at, and I didn't realize it. My bad, y'all. James grew up playing basketball for St. Vincent St. Mary High School in his hometown of Akron, Ohio. He was heavily touted by the national media as a future NBA superstar. A prep to pro, He was selected by the Cleveland Cavaliers with the first overall pick in the 2003 NBA draft. I remember that. I don't remember like the whole day, but I remember he was drafted. Whatever. Named the 2004 NBA Rookie of the Year, he soon established himself as one of the league's premier players, winning the NBA MVP award in 2009 and 2010, and leading the Cavaliers to the first NBA Finals appearance in 2007. After failing to win a championship with Cleveland, James left in 2010 as a free agent to join the Miami Heat. This was announced in the television special, The Decision, and is among the most controversial free agent decisions in sports history. I don't really know why people really cared about that really too much. Be honest, even as a LeBron fan, I didn't even watch that goddamn decision. I think I was either working or I was busy doing something else, and I found out, I was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. I was happy, and I kept it pushing, like, okay. He donated to the, I think to the Boys and Girls Foundation, something like that, with all the views and all the money he made from it, so wasn't nothing wrong with me with the decision. It was a good thing, and excuse me. Whew. Y'all know it's getting kind of late. It was a good thing. I think overall, it did what it's supposed to do. It got views. He raised money. He made a decision. Y'all was entertained, right? Because all people was watching. Y'all was entertained by the decision. It was what it was. Everybody need to move on from it. The funny thing about it is everybody was like, oh, he's a prima donna. And he's doing this, that, and the third. And it's like, if he's raising money for kids and he's helping the television network on top of that, you know what I mean? And the more views that he gets, it's just gonna help overall just his own brand, his friends, his family, everything involved. So there was nothing wrong with the decision. People just getting their feelings. As I always do when it comes to LeBron. That's why I just state my case about LeBron and move on. I tried to even get on the panel and talk about LeBron the other day. And these dudes lost their mind. You would think I stole some money from them. I had messed with one of their girls or whatever. Like, they lost their mind, man. They wouldn't even let me finish. I just stated my point, and I got up out of there, man. I'm like, I can't. I'm not doing the LeBron bait no more with y'all too much, man. Like, if I'm in the mood, I might, but I'm really done debating basketball with a lot of people because I done beat all these bums anyway. You know what I'm saying? Derrick Rose and all that. We done beat everybody within a generation. So I'm just kind of done even talking about basketball, debating basketball. He got the, lead a scoring record. Like, what else needs to happen? Like, there's nothing else that needs to happen, all right? Like, LeBron has done what he's done, and that's it. You like him or you don't. That's it. You know what I mean? I never got on rants about players that I don't like. If they do a stream about Kobe Bryant, I'm not going to get on there and disparage Kobe Bryant. God rest his soul. If they did a stream about, I'm trying to think of another player I don't like or I'm not really a fan of. They do a stream about, Devin Booker, or they do a stream about Kevin Durant or Giannis. And I don't have nothing against these guys, but they're not my cup of tea, right? They do a stream about them. I'm not going to get upset. I'm just going to sit there. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to say, okay, cool. That's your opinion. Whatever. That's it. But about LeBron, oh, no. You say anything about LeBron, people getting their feelings. It's a fact. Now, James won his first two NBA championships while playing for the Heat in 2012 and 2013. In both of these years, he also earned the league's MVP and Finals MVP awards. After his fourth season with the Heat in 2014, James opted out of his contract to resign with the Cavaliers. In 2016, he said, "KD is no one's cup of tea." Maybe so in 3, maybe so. You know what I mean? Some people like him, some people don't. People in Phoenix like him. I'll tell you that much. In 2016, he led the Cavaliers to victory over the Golden State Warriors in the finals by coming back from a 3-1 deficit. I've seen that whole series. The best 7-game series I've ever seen in my life. Period. I've never seen anything like this. This was the best NBA Finals I've ever seen. I've been watching basketball for over 30 years, right? Best NBA Finals I've ever seen. Not even close. Delivering the team's first championship and ended the Cleveland sports curse. In 2018, James exercised his contract option to leave the Cavaliers and sign with the Lakers, where he won a 2020 NBA championship and his 4th Finals MVP. James is also the first player in NBA history to accumulate $1 billion in earnings as an active player. That's crazy. Off the court, James has accumulated more wealth and fame from numerous endorsements, contracts. He has been featured in books, documentaries, including winning 2 Sports Emmy Awards as an executive producer and television commercials. He has won 19 ESPY Awards, hosted Saturday Night Live, and starred in the sports film Space Jam: A New Legacy. James has been a part owner of Liverpool FC since 2011 and leads the LeBron James Family Foundation, which has opened an elementary school, housing complex, retail plaza, community center, and medical center in Akron. Wow. And that's one thing I do love about LeBron. He's always going back and giving to people, you know. And I got some family stuff that I'm brewing, and I might encourage him to reach out to LeBron. But that's personal stuff. I'm not gonna talk about that. Now, let's get to the early life, as I always do, right? Then I'm gonna get to the career, and then I'm out. James was born on December 30th, 1984, in Akron, Ohio, to Gloria Marie James, who was 16 at the time of his birth. His father, Anthony McClellan, has an extensive criminal record and was not involved in his life. When James was growing up, life was often a struggle for the family as they moved from apartment to apartment in the seedier neighborhoods of Akron while Gloria struggled to find steady work. Excuse me. Realizing that her son would be better off in a more stable environment, Gloria allowed him to move in with the family of Frank Walker, a local youth football coach who introduced James to basketball when he was 9 years old. That is crazy. I didn't even know that. I had no idea that happened. And I'm a huge LeBron fan. Had no idea. James began playing organized basketball in the 5th grade. He played amateur athletic union, AAU basketball for the Northeast Ohio Shooting Stars. The team enjoyed success on a local and national level, led by James and his friend Cyan Cotton, Drew Joyce III. I heard about Drew. I heard a lot about him. And Willie McGee. The group dubbed themselves the Fab Four and promised each other that they would attend high school together. And a move that stirred local controversy, they chose to attend St. Vincent St. Mary High School, a private Catholic school with predominantly white students. Okay, so y'all know about his high school career. Went to St. Vincent St. Mary. I think they won a high school title or something like that. Maybe they won 2. I don't really remember. But yeah, he went there. You know what I mean? And he did his thing at St. Vincent St. Mary. You know what I mean? It was what it was. I'm gonna get into his professional career. I'm not even highlight the high school career. It's not really much that we can talk about with that. So I'm gonna get into the time, his professional career, the meat of the topic, right? Because like I said, I don't have a lot of time. 03-04 Rookie of the Year. James was selected by his hometown team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, as the first overall pick of the 2003 NBA Draft. In his first regular season game, he scored 25 points against the Sacramento Kings. I actually watched that game. I think I fell asleep during it too. Setting an NBA record for most points scored by a prep to pro player in his debut performance. At the conclusion of the 2003-2004 season, he became the first Cavalier to receive the NBA Rookie of the Year award, with final averages of 20.9 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 5.9 assists per game. He also became the third player in league history to average at least 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game as a rookie. Cleveland ultimately finished the season 35-47, failing to make the playoffs despite an 18-game improvement over the previous year. Wow, yeah, Cleveland was, they was bad. 2004-2008 rise to stardom. In the 2004-2005 season, James earned his first NBA All-Star Game selection, contributing to 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists in a winning effort for the Eastern Conference. Around the league, teams took note of his rapid development, and the Denver Nuggets coach Jordan Carl told Sports Illustrated, we're talking about a 20-year-old kid being a great player, but he is a great player. He's an exception to almost every rule. On March 20th, James scored 56 points against the Toronto Raptors, setting Cleveland's new single-game points record. With final averages of 27.2 points, 7.4 rebounds, 7.2 assists, and 2.2 steals per game, he was named to his first All-NBA team. Despite a 30-20 record to start the year, the Cavaliers again failed to make the playoffs, finishing the season 42-40. This is his second year. That is mind-boggling. At the 2006 NBA and the 2006 All-Star Game, James led the East to victory with 29 points and was named the NBA All-Star Game Most Valuable Player, behind final season averages of 31.4 points, 7 rebounds, and 6.6 assists per game. He also finished second overall NBA Most Valuable Player award, voted to Steve Nash. That's insane. Under James' leadership, the Cavaliers qualified for the playoffs for the first time since '98. In his postseason debut, James recorded a triple-double in a winning effort versus the Washington Wizards. In Game 3 of the series, he made the first game-winning shot of his career, making another in Game 5. Wow. Cleveland would go on to defeat the Wizards before being ousted by the Detroit Pistons in the second round. The Pistons had a squad back then, y'all. All right? That was my dry. Let me know it's a wrap in there. All right, 2006-2007. James' average declined to 27.3 points. Wow. I mean, he really had a bad year that year. No, he didn't. 6.7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1.6 steals per game. Some analysts attributed the fall to regression in his passing skills and shot selection, which stemmed from a lack of effort and focus. The Cavaliers finished the second with 50 wins for the second consecutive year and into the playoffs as the East second seed. In Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals, James notched 48 points with 9 rebounds and 7 assists, scored 29 of Cleveland's last 30 points, including the game-winning layup with 2 seconds left in a double overtime game against the Pistons. After the game, play-by-play announcer Marv Albert called the performance one of the greatest moments in postseason history, and color commentator Steve Kerr described it as Jordan-esque. In 2012, ESPN ranked the performance the 4th greatest in modern NBA playoff history. The Cavaliers went on to win Game 6 and claim their first ever Eastern Conference championship, earning them a matchup with the San Antonio Spurs in the finals. During the championship round, James struggled, averaging 22 points, 7.0 rebounds, and 6.8 assists per game on just 35.6% shooting. And Cleveland was eliminated in a sweep. In February, thank you, M3, I appreciate it. In February of the 07-08 season, James was named All-Star Game MVP for the second time behind a 27.8 rebound and 9 assist performance. On March 21st, he moved past Brad Daugherty as the Cavaliers' all-time leading scorer in the game against the Raptors, doing so in over 100 less games than Daugherty. If you don't know who Brad Daugherty is, do your research. Man, he was something special. His 30 points per game was also the highest in the league, making his first scoring title. Despite his individual accomplishments, Cleveland's record fell from the year before to 45-37. Seeded 4th in the East, entering the playoffs, the Cavaliers defeated the Wizards in the first round for the 3rd consecutive season before being eliminated in 7 games by the eventually champion Boston Celtics in the next round. Salute to Daryl Long and his team, setting the record straight network. Salute to you and the team, brother. Good to see you, man. Good first stream, too. Very good, man. During the decisive 7th game in Boston, James scored 45 points and Paul Pierce scored 41 in the game the Associated Press described as a shootout. And it's crazy because LeBron, really, man, he didn't really have nothing. Like, he was on Cleveland. Yeah, Cleveland was not it. I'm just letting you know that. Cleveland was not it. Nobody was trying to be on that team. Nobody was trying to go there to play. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wanted to be in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? Before LeBron got there, people were not fighting to get to Cleveland. They weren't fighting to get to be on the Cavaliers. I'm telling you. They were that bad. They were terrible. All right, 2008-2010 MVP seasons. At the conclusion of the 2008-2009 season, James finished second in NBA Defensive Player of the Year award, voting and made his first NBA All-Defensive team, posted 23 chase down blocks and a career-high 93 total blocks. He also became only the 4th post-merger player to lead his team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks in a single season. Behind his play and acquisition of All-Star guard Mo Williams, Cleveland won a franchise record 66-16 and fell just 1 game short of matching the best home record in league history. You know, Mo Williams is cool, but a lot of times people make Mo Williams more than what he is. He was good. He had maybe a good 2-3 years. He had a good little jumper. He could play on the pick and roll good with LeBron, but I'm telling you, Mo Williams, he wasn't all that. He wasn't a superstar. You know what I mean? He was not. Okay. I hate when people make Mo Williams more than what he is. He was okay. All right. With final averages of 28.4 points, 7.6 rebounds, 7.2 assists, 1.7 steals, and 1.2 blocks per game, James became the first Cavalier to win the MVP award. Reflecting on James' performance for ESPN, John Hollinger later wrote, "He sat what is arguably the greatest individual season in history, and it's time we gave him his due for it." In the playoffs, Cleveland swept the Pistons and the Atlanta Hawks to earn a matchup with the Orlando Magic in the conference finals. In Game 1 of the series, James scored 49 points on 66% shooting and losing effort for the Cavaliers. In Game 2, he had a game when the title series at 1-1. I was actually sitting in a restaurant when he did that. You know what I mean? With some family and friends. Cleveland will lose the series in 6 games, and following the loss in Game 6, James immediately left the floor without shaking hands with his opponents, which was an act that many media members viewed as unsportsmanlike. For the series, he averaged 38.5 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 8 assists per game, finishing the postseason with a career playoff high, 35.3 points per game. In February of 09-10 season, James was forced to a temporary point guard role following a series of injuries to players in the Cavaliers' backcourt. Behind his leadership, Cleveland lost no momentum, finishing the year with the best record in the league for the second consecutive season. Due in part to his increased minutes as the Cavaliers' primary ball handler, James increased his statistical production, averaging 29.7 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 8.6 assists, 1.6 steals, and 1 block per game on 50% shooting, en route to another MVP award. To open the playoffs, Cleveland advanced past the Bulls to earn a matchup with the Celtics in the second round. James was heavily criticized for not playing well in Game 5 of the series, shooting only 20% on 14 shots and scoring 15 points. The team suffered its worst loss in franchise history. At the conclusion of the game, James walked off the court to a smattering of boos from Cleveland's home crowd. The Cavaliers were officially eliminated from the playoffs in Game 6, where James posted 27 points, 19 rebounds, 10 assists, and 9 turnovers in a losing effort. All right, so now this is when he makes a decision. James became unrestricted free agent at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on July 1st, 2010. During this time, he was contacted by several teams, including the Bulls, the Clippers, the Heat, the Knicks, the Nets, and Cavaliers. On July 8th, he announced on a live ESPN special titled The Decision that he would sign with the Heat. The telecast was broadcast from the Boys and Girls Club of Greenwich, Connecticut, and raised $2.5 million for the charity. Wow, and that was a bad decision? Yeah, all right. An additional $3.5 million was raised from advertising revenue, which was donated to other charities. Wow. So in total, he raised he raised around $6 million. All right? $6.5 million for charities and to help, other people who were in need. But it was a bad decision. Whatever. Y'all haven't even raised $6 for nobody, but whatever. The day before the special, fellow free agents Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade also announced that they would sign with Miami. Reports later arose that back in 2006, the trio discussed among themselves the upcoming 2010 free agency. James decided to join with Bosh and Wade in part so that he could show the less of the offensive load. He thought that his improved teammates would give him a better chance to win an NBA championship than he had stayed in Cleveland. Heat President Pat Riley played a major role in selling James on the idea of playing with Bosh and Wade. James would be relied of the burden of scoring, and he thought he could be the first player since Oscar Robertson to average a triple-double in the season. Upon leaving the Cavaliers, James drew intense criticism from sports analysts, executives, fans, and current and former players. The decision itself was also scrutinized and viewed as unnecessary. Many thought that the prolonged wait for James' choice was unprofessional, and not even the team's courting him was aware of his decision until moments before the show. Upon learning that James would not be returning to Cleveland, Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert published an open letter to fans in which he aggressively denounced James' actions. Some angry fans of the team recorded videos of themselves burning his jersey. Former NBA players, including Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson, were also critical of James, condemning him for joining with Bosh and Wade in Miami, not trying to win a championship as the man. James drew further criticism in a September interview with CNN when he claimed that race might have been a factor in the fallout from the decision. As a result of his action during the 2010 free agency period, he quickly gained a reputation as one of America's most disliked athletes, which is a radical change from prior years. The phrase "taking my time to the South Beach" became a punchline for critics. In retrospect, James had expressed some regret over his handling of the decision. Look, he ain't do nothing wrong with that decision. Now, everybody criticizing him. All you got to criticize him. They either asked for a trade at one point from the team that they stayed with, or they almost left in free agency. So people are hypocrites, man. And that's one thing you learn in life. A lot of people will get on you, right? And they'll tell you, you shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have said this. And these are the same people that requested trades and almost left their own teams. Whatever. Now, 2010, 2011, year of the media and friends school. That's what I tell people. Do whatever you want. Do what makes you happy. F people. I'm just being honest. Forget what people say. That's one thing you ever take from Mr. Best in the World. Don't listen to what people tell you to do. Do what you want to do. Do what makes you happy. All right? No matter what stream I'm on. This could be about LeBron. It could be about men and women, whoever. Do what you want. That's the bottom line. Let me keep going. James officially signed with the Heat on July 10th, 2010. Through a sign and trade deal which sent 2 second and 2 first-round draft picks to the Cavaliers and gave the team the option to swap first-round picks with the Heat in 2012. As part of the first player created NBA Super Team. It wasn't the first player created for NBA Super Team. Wikipedia need to get out of here with that. He became on the third reigning MVP to change teams, and the first since Moses Malone in 1982. All right, Moses Malone did it as well with him and Dr. J back in 82. That evening, he threw a welcome party for the new Big Three at the American Airlines Arena, an event that took on a rock concert atmosphere. During the gathering, James predicted a dynasty for the Heat and alluded to multiple championships. Outside of Miami, the spectacle was not well received, further than a negative public perception of James. Throughout the 2010-11 season, The media and opposing fan bases treated James and the Heat as villains. To begin the year, they struggled to adjust to the new circumstances, going only 9-8 after 17 games. James later admitted that the constant negativity surrounding the team made him play with an angrier demeanor than in years past. On December 2nd, James faced the Cavaliers in Cleveland for the first time since departing as a free agent. He scored 38 points and led Miami to a win while being booed every time he touched the ball. The Heat eventually turned the season around and finished as the East second seed, with James averaging 26.7 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 7 assists per game on 51% shooting. In the conference semifinal, James and his teammates found themselves matched up with the Celtics for the second consecutive year. In Game 5, he scored Miami's last 10 points to seal the series clinching win. After the final buzzer, he famously knelt on the court in an emotional moment, later telling reporters that it was an extremely personal victory for him and the team. The Heat eventually advanced to the finals, where they were defeated by the Dallas Mavericks in 6 games. James received the brunt of the criticism for the loss, averaging only 3 points in four quarters in the series. His final scoring average of 17.8 points per game signified an 8.9-point drop-off from the regular season, the largest point drop-off in league history. All right? So, LeBron had his shortcomings, just like everybody else. But, like all great players, man, did he rebound? And he rebounded quickly. Back-to-back championships. Let's get it. The 2011-2012 season was delayed by a lockout, and during that extended summer, James worked with Hakeem Olajuwon in order to prove his post-up game. Humbled by the Heat's loss to the Mavericks, the experience inspired James to leave behind the villain role that he had been embracing, which helped him regain a sense of joy on the court. Behind James' expanded skill set, Miami began the year with a franchise best 18-6 record. He was eventually named MVP for the third time, finishing with averages of 27.1 points, 7.9 rebounds, 6.2 assists, and 1.9 steals per game on 53% shooting. In the second round of the playoffs, Miami temporarily lost Bosh to the abdominal injury and found themselves trailing to the Indiana Pacers 2-1. Now remember, he was their starting center, and now he was gone. I remember that. The whole first championship and everything they had to go through. I remember that whole thing. James responded with a 40-point, 8-rebound, and 9 assists outing in Game 4 to help even the series. To compensate for Bosh's absence, the Heat embraced a small ball lineup with James at forward, which they retained even after Bosh's return in the conference finals against the Celtics. So he switched to power forward. And then when Bosh came back, he remained at power forward. Facing elimination in Game 6, James scored 45 points and 15 rebounds to lead the Heat to victory, what the New York Times called a career-defining performance. Miami won Game 7 to advance to the finals, earning them a matchup with the Oklahoma City Thunder and James' budding rival Kevin Durant. Late in Game 4 of the series, James hit a three-pointer to give the Heat a lead, helping them to win the game despite missing time with leg cramps. I remember that. In Game 5, he registered a triple-double as Miami defeated Oklahoma City for the second ever championship and James' first championship. James was unanimously voted the Bill Russell NBA Finals most valuable player with averages of 28.6 points, 10.2 rebounds, and 7.4 assists per game. You don't know who Bill Russell is? Look him up. His full postseason run, in which he averaged 30.3 points per game, 9.7 rebounds, and 5.6 assists per game, was later ranked the second best in modern NBA history by ESPN. In February of the 2012-13 season, James averaged 29.7 points and 7.8 assists per game, while setting multiple shooting efficiency records. That same month, the Heat also began a 27-game winning streak, which is the third longest in NBA history. Based on this accomplishment, James' performance was described as a month for the ages by Sports Illustrated. Miami eventually finished the year with a franchise and league best 66-16 record, and James was named MVP for the fourth time, falling just one vote shy of becoming the first player in NBA history to win the award unanimously. His final season averages was 26.8 points, 8 rebounds, 7.3 assists, and 1.7 steals per game on 56.5% shooting. Wow. In Game 1 of the conference final, James scored a buzzer-beating layup to give Miami a 1-point victory against the Pacers. Throughout the series, his supporting cast struggled significantly, and his added scoring low prompted him to pay responsibility to those of his Cleveland days. Despite the struggle, the Heat advanced to the finals for a meeting with the Spurs, signifying a rematch for James from his first finals 6 years earlier. At the beginning of the series, he was criticized for the lack of aggressiveness and poor shot selection as Miami fell behind 2-3. In Game 6, he recorded his second triple-double of the series, including 16 fourth-quarter points to lead the Heat to a comeback victory. In Game 7, he tied the finals record for most points scored in the Game 7 victory, leading Miami over San Antonio with 37 points. Wow. Wow. He was named Finals MVP for the second straight season averaging 25.3 points, 10.9 rebounds, 7.7 assists, and 2.3 steals per game for the championship round. All right. So let's get to the final season of Miami. On March 3rd of 2013-14 season, James scored a career high and franchise record 61 points in the game against the Charlotte Bobcats. Throughout the year, he was one of the few staples for a Heat roster that used 20 different starting lineups due to injuries. Finished with average of 27.1 points, 6.9 rebounds, 6.4 assists per game on 56.7% shooting. In the second round of playoffs, he tied a career postseason high by scoring 49 points in Game 4 against the Brooklyn Nets. In the next round, Miami defeated the Pacers to earn their fourth consecutive finals berth, becoming one of only 4 teams in NBA history to do so. In Game 1 of the finals, James missed most of the fourth quarter because of leg cramps, helping the Spurs take an early series lead. In Game 2, he led the Heat to a series tie victory of 35 points on a 64% shooting rate. San Antonio eventually eliminated the Heat in 5 games, ending Miami's quest for three-peat. For the finals, James averaged 28.2 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 2.0 steals per game. Return to the Cavaliers. On June 25th, 2014, James opted out of his contract with the Heat, and on July 1st, he officially became an unrestricted free agent. On July 11th, he revealed via a first-person essay, Sports Illustrated, that he intended to return to the Cavaliers. In contrast to the decision, his announcement to return to Cleveland was well received. On July 12th, he officially signed with the team, who had compiled a league-worst 97-215 record in the 4th season following his departure. Wow. That is crazy. A month after James signing, the Cavaliers acquired Kevin Love from the Minnesota Timberwolves, forming a new trio along with Kyrie Irving. All right, so let's get into the Cleveland's first and probably only championship they'll ever have. In January of the 2014-15 season, James missed 2 weeks due to left knee and lower back strains, which at the time represented the longest stretch of missed games in his career. In total, he played a career-low 69 games in his finals, and his finals averages were 24.3 points, 6 rebounds, and 7.4 assists per game. In the second round of playoffs, he had a baseline jump at the buzzer to give Cleveland a 2-2 series tie with the Bulls. In the conference finals, the Cavaliers defeated the Hawks to advance to the finals. They gained the first place since the 1960s to play in 5 consecutive finals. For most of the finals against the Golden State Warriors, Irving and Love were sidelined due to injury, giving James more offensive responsibilities. Behind leadership, the Cavaliers opened the series with a 2-1 lead before being eliminated in 6 games. Despite the loss, he received serious consideration for Finals MVP award, averaging 35.8 points per game, 13.3 rebounds, and 8.8 assists per game for the championship round. Salute the Truth. Truth, what's going on? What's good, family? Tap in. Blood in. What's good, family? During the 2015-16 season, James was criticized for his role in several off-court controversies, including the midseason firing of Cavaliers coach David Blatt. Despite these distractions, Cleveland finished this year with 57 wins and best record in the East. James' final averages were 25.3 points, 7.4 rebounds, 6.8 assists per game on 52% shooting in the playoffs. The Cavaliers advanced comfortably to the finals, losing only 2 games en route to a rematch with the Warriors, who were coming off a record set in the 73-win season. Let me tell you something. The Warriors was going in that year, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, I am. He's not a bum. All right? He's not a bum at all. Now, the Warriors was going in that season, y'all. Going in. All right? Look, I'm going to tell you something. I've watched a lot of basketball in my day. All right? And outside of watching, like, a lot of Jordan teams, man, and even some teams LeBron was on, even them Laker teams with Kobe and Shaq, I ain't never seen nothing like that. Like, they were, look, man, if you have never seen the Warriors 73-win season, I know they won a championship, but just watch some highlights, all right? They were embarrassing people, okay? They were straight up embarrassing people. I mean, these are pro athletes, and they were getting embarrassed out there, man. Embarrassed. They would be up by 20 by the first quarter. By halftime, they'd be up by 30. I don't even want to tell you the final score of the game some of these games were, man. They were beating people down, man. You know, I thought LeBron had a chance, but at times as a fan, I'm like, I don't know. Like, they was embarrassing cats, man. You know what I mean? I know M3 still watching, so he know. M3 know. They was embarrassing cats, man. Them Warriors, that Warrior team that won 73 wins, whew, man, they was something. They was something special. They definitely one of the greatest teams I've ever seen in my life. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even a Warriors fan. I'm gonna tell y'all straight. That was one of the greatest teams I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, I know him three. Yeah, that Warriors team. Even though we beat y'all in the playoffs, that 73 win season, yeah, y'all was embarrassing cats, man. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all was embarrassing cats. To begin the series, Cleveland fell behind 3-1, including 2 blowout losses. Yeah, because they were beating people down. James responded by registering back-to-back 41-point games in Game 5 and 6, leading the Cavaliers to 2 consecutive wins to stave off elimination. In Game 7, he posted a triple-double and made a number of key plays, including a chase-down block on Andre Iguodala's go-ahead layup attempt. That was a beautiful block. Best block in NBA history. Outside of Giannis' block on DeAndre Ayton in the finals, that was the best block I've ever seen. The Giannis block, I believe, may have been more. I think the Giannis block was. I'm not gonna say it was more difficult, but it was. It's both were just great. I can't even rank them, but the Giannis block is right there. If not tied, I would say the LeBron block is harder because it was a chase down. So he had to run, gather, and then he had to time it and not get a goaltend. That is so hard to do. With Giannis, what made his difficult was he was in one position and he shifted his position. So when you in sports, or if anything, or like let's just say you're running in place and all of a sudden you shift, that's hard to do because your body, even when you shift, sometimes your body, you may catch a cramp, or you may catch, you may not respond in time, right? But for him to shift his whole body around, right? He had to turn 180, right? Literally, 180 angle, a 90-degree angle, or somewhere like that, and catch a block on a center. Impressive. He said only most embarrassing was the 3-4 comeback against the Warriors. Yeah, that was the only loss they suffered when they lost in the finals. Because let me tell you something, that 73-win season, they was embarrassing cats, man. It was sad. It was embarrassing cats. Sad for them. You know what I mean? It was crazy how they was beating cats down. Man. As Cleveland emerged victorious, win the city's first professional sports title in 52 years and become the first team in NBA history to come back from a 3-1 series deficit in the finals. James became just the third player to record a triple-double in the NBA Finals Game 7. And behind series averages of 29.7 points, 11.3 rebounds, 8.9 assists, 2.3 blocks, and 2.6 steals per game. He also became the first player in league history to lead both teams in all 5 statistical categories for a playoff round, culminating in a unanimous Finals MVP selection. All right. So now we're going to get, to kind of when he leaves Cleveland, we're about to go to Lakers and kind of what he's doing now, right? So, and I'm glad because I only got 12 minutes left. The 2016-17 season was marred by injuries and unexpected loss for the Cavaliers. James later described as one of the strangest years of his career. Following January defeat to the New Orleans Pelicans, he publicly criticized Cleveland's front office for constructing a team that he felt was too top-heavy, for which he received kind of criticism. The Cavaliers finished the season as the East second seed, with James averaging 26.4 points, a career high in rebounds, 8.6 assists, 8.7 assists, 8.6 rebounds, and turnovers, 4.1 per game. In Game 3 of the first round of playoffs, he registered 41 points, 13 rebounds, and 12 assists against the Pacers, leaving Cleveland to a comeback victory over trailing by 25 points at halftime. I remember that. They was trailing that whole game, but LeBron just exploded, man. I'm just going to say that. Detonated in a sense. He went crazy. Representing the largest halftime deficit to overcome in NBA playoff history. In Game 5 of the conference finals against the Celtics, James scored 35 points to surpass Michael Jordan as the league's all-time postseason scoring leader. The Cavaliers won the game and the series, advanced to the finals for the third consecutive time against the Warriors, who had signed James' rival Kevin Durant during the offseason. Behind averages of 33.6 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists per game, James became the first player to average a triple-double in the finals, but Cleveland was defeated in 5 games. Prior to the start of the 17-18 season, the Cavaliers overhauled their roster by trading Kyrie Irving to the Celtics. Dumbest move they ever did in their life. Who requested the trade in part because he no longer wanted to play with James. After a slow start to the year, Cleveland rebounded by winning 18 of 19 games in December. The turnaround began with a victory over the Wizards on November 3rd, where James scored 57 points, which represented the second highest point total of his career and tied the franchise record. In January, the Cavaliers had a losing record, and James was criticized for his lackluster effort. The next month, James won his third All-Star Game MVP award after posting 29 points, 10 rebounds, and assists in several key plays to help the team. LeBron went over Team Curry. Following another round of trades in February, Cleveland returned to form and James reached a number of historical milestones. On March 30th, he set an NBA record with 867 straight games scoring in double digits. James eventually finished the season with averages of 27.5 points, 8.6 rebounds, 9.2 assists, and 4.2 turnovers per game. In the playoffs, James guided the Cavaliers to another finals rematch with the Warriors. Along the way, he had some of the most memorable moments of his career, including a game-winning shot against the Pacers and another against the Raptors. Yo, that season, that Kyrie season, when Kyrie got traded, LeBron really showed why he was LeBron, man. That's all I'm going to say about that. In the first game of the final, James scored a playoff career high 51 points, but Cleveland was defeated in overtime. Following defeat, James injured his hand after punching the wall in the locker room, which hindered his effectiveness for the remainder of the series. The Cavaliers lost the series in 4 games, with James averaging 34 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 10 assists per game for the finals. He actually broke a ligament in his hand. You know what I'm saying? He still averaged 34 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 10 assists per game. Interesting, huh? Okay, this one he goes to the Lakers. On June 29, 2018, James opted out of his contract with the Cavaliers and became an unrestricted free agent. On July 1st, his management company, Clutch Sports, announced that he was signed to the Los Angeles Lakers. The deal was officially completed on July 9th. In an interview with Sports Illustrated, James' agent, Rich Paul, explained, in 2010, when he went to Miami, it was about championships. In 2014, when he went back to Cleveland, it was about delivering on the promise. In 2018, it was just about doing what he wants to do. The reaction to the move was more positive than his original departure from the Cavaliers, albeit still makes it some onlookers felt that Los Angeles was not his optimal destination. Now, understand, and I want people to understand this, right? He went to Los Angeles for 2 reasons. 1, for his kids. 2, for his wife. All right? And 3, I'm going to give you 3 reasons. I'm going to give you another one. And 3, because he can make more money there outside of basketball. You know, LA, you can have a film studio, you can do all types of stuff business-wise. So business-wise, family-wise, it just made sense. Those are the 3 reasons. All right? And those 3 reasons were enough to make him go. And to be honest, most people ain't going to turn those 3 reasons down. All right? Now, I'm not saying basketball isn't important to him no more. It definitely is. But those were the main reasons why he went to LA, in my opinion. The Lakers expected James to immediately transform into a championship contender after having missed the playoffs since 2014 and not appearing in the finals since 2010. Following the sign, the team rounded out their roster with a controversial collection of players and veterans to begin the 2018-19 season. They struggled to find effective lineups and recorded only 2 wins throughout their first 7 games. In November, they began a turnaround which included 2 of James' strongest performances of the season. On November 14th, he registered 44 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists in a victory against the Portland Trail Blazers. On November 18th, he scored a season-high 51 points in a win over the Heat. After blowing out the Warriors on Christmas Day, Los Angeles improved their record to 20-14, but James suffered a groin injury. I remember that game. It was sad. The first major injury of his career. He missed a then career-high 17 consecutive games, and Lakers fell off out of playoff contention without him. The team was unable to recover and failed to qualify for the postseason, making the first time that James missed the playoffs since 2005. In March, the Lakers announced that James would begin a minutes restriction. Salute to Marcus. Marcus, what's good? What's good, man? Good to see you in here. And he was later officially ruled out of the remainder of the season. James' final average was 27.4 points and 8.5 rebounds, 8.3 assists per game. Despite his inconsistent campaign, James was named to the All-NBA third team, making the first time in 12 years that he did not make the All-NBA first team. All right, giving a shout out to Marcus. All right. Okay, this is when he get his 4th ring. During the offseason, the Lakers hired Frank Vogel. The new head coach had traded the majority of the young core to the Pelicans, superstar big game Anthony Davis, as I like to call him. James immediately embraced Los Angeles' much improved roster by transforming his playing style, moving a full-time point guard and competing with the more consistent defensive effort. Behind James' leadership, the Lakers opened the 2010-19-20 season with a 17-2 record, matching the best start in franchise history. On January 25th, James passed team legend Kobe Bryant for a 3rd on the all-time regular season scoring list, the day before Bryant transcended in a helicopter tragedy. In early March, before the season was suspended due to COVID pandemic, right? James led the Lakers to a victory over the Bucks in a matchup of conference leaders, followed by a streak-breaking win against the Clippers. Regular season play resumed in July and concluded in August within a confined NBA bubble, where James ended the regular season as a league leader in assists for the first time in his career, averaging 10.2 assists per game. James earned a record 16 All NBA team selections as part of the first NBA team, extending his second first NBA selections to 13. The Lakers entered the playoffs as the number one seed in the West and advanced to the finals convincingly, with only 3 total losses along the way. In Game 5 of the conference finals against the Nuggets, James helped clinch the conference championship by scoring a game-high 38 points, including 16 in the fourth quarter. What he said? We both know the Lakers chip, they won the bubble. Savage chip. He had a banged-up team. No disrespect, banged up out of Bayern in the finals. Gordon Dragic, the leader, Portugal was out. Okay, whatever. All right, look. You play who's in front of you. All right? It was what it was. It is what it is. Injuries happen in the league, unfortunately. There's a lot of teams I feel with injuries and everything else that were robbed out of championships. We can go down a whole list. Even with your Warriors, y'all caught some championships because people were hurt. Let's be honest. But I'm not gonna go through all that. It's not the stream for that. I just want to highlight LeBron. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's all I'm doing. In the final, James and his teammates found themselves matched up with his former team, the Heat, and quickly took control of the series with a 2-0 lead. In Game 5, James had his best statistical performance of the finals with 40 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists in a memorable duel with Miami's Jimmy Butler. But Los Angeles was ultimately defeated in a 3-point game. The Lakers finally eliminated the Heat in Game 6, which earned James, who averaged 29.8 points, 9.8 rebounds, and 8.5 assists per game during the series, his 4th NBA championship and 4th Finals MVP award. At 35 years and 287 days old, he became the second oldest player in league history to win the award, and the only player in NBA history to win the award with 3 different franchises. James and teammate Danny Green also became the 3rd and 4th players in NBA history to win at least one championship with three different teams each. Hey, Danny Green is a legend too, man. God shout out Danny Green. Very good spot-up shooter. Incredible defender in his prime. Incredible defender. He can shut people down. Back-to-back chase. The 2021 season, okay, so they tried to go back-to-back, right? It didn't happen, you know. Now he's the first in the 10K club, all right? You know what I mean? So, you know, that's 10,000 career rebounds, you know what I mean? 9,000 career assists, you know what I'm saying? 30,000 points, you know what I mean? So he's the first to, you know, be in that club, you know what I'm saying? And he just broke the all-time scoring record on February 7th. You know what I mean? He basically broke that record, which was last week. All right. Kareem was there. You know what I mean? Magic was there. A lot of celebrity was there. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, LeBron definitely did his thing. You know, salute to LeBron, man. LeBron's definitely inspiration for anybody with the humbling story who really came for nothing and made himself something. He literally came from nothing and made something out of himself. Great family, man. You know what I mean? Really, really cool human being, philanthropist, from what I can see. As far as him being a cool guy, seems like he's really cool. Philanthropist, and just overall, he just really, really, you know, is doing his thing in basketball. We know what he's done. We know his accomplishments. We know his accolades. But LeBron is an inspiration, man. You know, for anybody who, you know, who just believes that they can do great things. You don't have to come from, you know, a high prestigious background to make something of yourself. And that is the benefit. That's one of the benefits of living in America. You know what I mean? Like in a lot of other countries, if you are poor, sometimes you are just poor for life. Okay? There is no getting out of that. Okay? Some countries, if your family poor and y'all known as a poor family, there ain't no change. All right? You will remain poor from the time you're born to the time you're not here, unless you move. Okay? Unless you just flee and leave that area, you will remain poor. Okay? Certain countries are designed that way. There's certain classes in certain countries, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Toronto Raptors and all that, you know what I'm saying? You know, they got a chip, and they probably shouldn't have got that one, but they got it. Salute to Kawhi Leonard, because he was balling out during that time. He was that was the best I ever seen Kawhi Leonard play, period. You know what I mean? Definitely like and subscribe to Truth. And, you know, this channel, Truth and Purpose Nexus. Tap in, y'all. All right. But yeah, man, LeBron is an inspiration for that, man. In America, they call it the land of opportunity. And God dang it, he made opportunity. And he took it and cashed it and made something happen. So that should motivate all of us to just continue to move forward. It motivates me. A lot of times, as I go throughout my week and I'm trying to, grow in my business acumen, and I'm doing all these different business calls, these different business meetings and stuff like that, and trying to get back on board on certain things business wise. Sometimes I get a little irritated, right? Because I'm like, man, why is this thing taking so long? They got to review this and do that. I'm like, God dang it. I want things to be, speeded up, but it's a part of the process, In your process, you're going to have to go through something. You have to go through bumps in the road. I'm pretty sure LeBron had to. Anybody has to, right? So in that, you still have to do that in order to achieve greatness, in order to achieve the goals and dreams that you're looking for. It's not always going to be easy. It's going to be hard. At times, you're not going to like the road that's in front of you. At times, things are going to get a little difficult. At times, you're going to miss out on opportunities. At times, they're going to tell you no. At times, things are going to happen sometimes. Sometimes they're going to take forever. They're going to take 2, 3, 4, 5 days. And you're like, man, it should have been done yesterday. You know what I mean? So, but that shouldn't perturb you from your dreams, right? And not only did he make a dream happen, but he made a dream happen under circumstances where he had a lot of personal things happening in the background that would affect most of us, right? Most of us, if we didn't really have our families there, or we didn't have certain people in our lives, it would impact us a lot. I don't know if a lot of people without family, they wouldn't even be who they are. They wouldn't even be around. They may not even be alive, right? But he did that really without really his mom really being there, because she couldn't really, afford to take care of him like that. She would probably come in and see him, and she was definitely impacting his life. And his dad was not present at all, right? He was in the streets. You know what I mean? He was doing his thing in the streets. So, and most people, if they have that, they are not gonna make it. Okay. I know people think, that even if you don't have parents or you don't have a good foundation, you miraculously supposed to just turn into this great person. Whoever thinks that, you are crazy. Okay? You are crazy. You need to go get checked out. Okay? If you don't have a good foundation, it's gonna impact your life. Okay? You can ask anybody that. You can come on the stream and ask us. When we do our non-relationship stream, you can ask me and 3 anybody. Ask us when we do our streams how much having our parents or not having them has meant to us. And we will tell you. It means a lot. Okay? Your foundation makes you the person that you are. And LeBron, even without really the best of foundations, and he had people to step in, which is good, he still makes something great happen. Which is, like I said, that doesn't happen often, y'all. It doesn't. Just want you to understand that. All right? Take that in. You know what I mean? As you think about LeBron and his story. That being said, y'all, I need to get up out of here. I got to prepare for the other streams tomorrow. Love all y'all. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all y'all, man. I definitely do. There's another Black is Gold, episode 11, LeBron James. As always, as Assistant Heavily Stream say, be intentional, all right? As QB would say, be intentional, y'all, okay? I'm going to be intentional, you know what I'm saying, by getting things done tonight and staying positive and getting some rest and finishing some house chores and working out and getting set up for these streams, you know what I mean? For tomorrow, I got a busy day tomorrow. My gosh. I don't know how I'm going to do all this shit tomorrow. I'm being honest with you. I just don't know how. But yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, definitely. Have a good night, y'all. Happy Historical Black History Month. Stay blessed. Definitely, y'all. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you. You know what I mean? Let's enjoy this Black History Month. Let's keep enjoying it, y'all. I'm going to keep knocking these out. Tomorrow, what I got lined up? I got something lined up for y'all tomorrow. Let me see. Let me give y'all a clue for Black is Gold tomorrow. You know what I mean? I haven't done that in a while. Okay, so my clue for tomorrow is, all right, and if you haven't seen what's lined up tomorrow, unless you looked on the page, if you looked under the lives, you'll see what's coming up. But if you don't know, I'm going to just say, sometimes in order to be great, you have to run. You have to run for greatness and to greatness. Now, I mean, you got to use your feet. And this person definitely used their feet and their legs and their thighs to pursue greatness. All right? You know what I mean? Sometimes, you know what I mean, it takes a woman to show us how truly great we can be. You know what I mean? Salute to all the Black women out there. That's all the clues I'm gonna give you. All right, the black woman, she used her feet. You know what I mean? She's an athlete. That's all the clues I'm gonna give you. I'm giving y'all too much. But with that, y'all, with that being said, thank you for tuning in to Black Let's Go episode 11, LeBron James. Love y'all. As QB would say, be intentional. It's not Serena Williams. Good try, Marcus. Very good try. But it's not Serena Williams. She might be featured. She might be featured as Black Let's Go. Might happen. Strong possibility. Might happen. I might do some adjustment to Black Let's Go for Serena. Or she might be an honorable mention. Don't know. You know what I mean? It's so many people. You know what's so funny? As I'm doing this, Marcus, there's so many people that I'm like, dang, I wanted to include them. Dang, I want to include them. And I can't include everybody. That's the crazy part about it. I can't include everybody. Salute to Jordan. You know what I mean? I can't include everybody. I had to actually kind of like redirect my list a little bit so I can include certain people. That's the crazy part about it. I couldn't include everybody I actually want to include. I thought about doing like 2 people a day, possibly, but that would be too much. But yeah, I couldn't even do everybody that I just really wanted to do. I wanted to do like certain singing groups, certain other people in history, and I couldn't do everybody. So the list I got, I'm gonna just stick to it. I'm gonna ride it out. You know what I mean? If there's somebody that y'all really, really want me to cover, and it's not a day when I'm busy, the best day to catch me is like a Tuesday. And you know, it has to be a Tuesday where I'm not doing the awareness podcast, which will probably be like this Tuesday. This Tuesday, if y'all want me to cover somebody, so if you want me to cover Serena Williams, Marcus, I'll cover. You know what I mean? But you got to come up, okay? You want me to do Marcus Clark Duncan? You know what I mean? Catch me like on like a Wednesday, all right? On a Wednesday or like a Friday, all right? You know what I'm saying? Catch me on a Wednesday or Friday, and I can cover somebody like that, all right? But you got to remind me because I have a whole list. And remember, I'm doing all these other shows, so just remind me, brother. That's all you got to do is remind me. I'll cover them. You know what I mean? I don't mind. But you got to come up here, too, if I'm going to cover them, all right? With that being said, y'all, be intentional. Much love to y'all. With that being said, y'all have a good night, y'all. You know what I mean? It's Black Let's Go episode 11. We out.
The DJ.